I'm gonna be honest, I haven't posted in a while. Um, and I can tell this webcam is kind of crappy. Um, Things recently have been kind of hard. For the last couple of years, I've been in and out of court fighting to get custody of my child. And I recently figured out that even though at the start she was really open to coming to live with me, she really wasn't. She she's not only decided not to come to Minnesota to live with me, she has also decided she wanted to be adopted. And this is the hardest thing that I ever thought I'd have to hear. But basically, my own child doesn't want anything to do with me. And it's through no real fault of my own. Um, I did everything I could. I made 2 trips to California. I almost ended up evicted from my home because of taking those 2 trips. I I've had to reopen a lot of old wounds, a lot involving my own mother, and not stuff I want to cover here because, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's kind of way too personal. Um, I love my child. I do. Both of them, really. Even though my daughter really technically, legally doesn't exist anymore. She decided that she was going to change her name and she was going to leave my last name behind, which was another hard hit. I mean, this is a child that I loved from the moment that a positive pregnancy test came through. I loved her before she drew her first breath. And life has been very difficult. Going from seeing my child the last time a toddler running around, and the last time I held her as a baby, to suddenly holding a teenage girl in my arms. That was real kick to the face, really. I thought I was prepared for that, and I really wasn't. I was absolutely not prepared. Um, Life has been pretty shit for the last couple of months. Um, I haven't been posting because I have really not been in the mindset to. Um, it has been so bad a couple of times that I have felt like just giving up on sobriety and downing a bottle of whiskey. But, well, I have my son that I have to worry about, and I can't just turn my back on him. And I mean, I know people in California have painted me as a horrible fucking parent. But every single time this little boy says, I love you, Mom, I know I'm not. That's my son. The sweetest, most polite, caring little boy I have ever known. I mean, I'll be blunt. There are things that I will not discuss about my life, especially because there's one person who continually keeps subscribing to my channel, whom I really don't want contact with. She hasn't gotten it through her head that I have my own life. I mean, I've I see the notification that she subscribed to my channel, and I'm just like, why won't you leave me the fuck alone? Seriously, my life is none of your business. Everything that I go through is none of your business. I have recently been diagnosed with quiet borderline personality disorder and complex um post traumatic stress disorder. And that stems back to what I went through with my mother. And I use paint my mom as mother as somebody that I love dearly. I will say that I do love her, but I don't like her. I dye my hair because I can't stand to look in the mirror and see any resemblance of my mother. I almost punched my mirror one night because I looked up and saw my mother. And that rage just hit, and I wanted to just haul off and punch the mirror. I cannot stand what my mother did to me. It was horrible. I was brainwashed. I was made to believe that everything I went through was okay. And it so wasn't. I have a life where I should be the happiest woman ever. And I have this hole where someone has just reached inside me and ripped everything out. And some days I don't know if I'm numb or if I just want to bawl my fucking eyes out. And other days I just wonder, when the fuck does the pain stop? Which brings me to something else I suffer from: passive suicidal ideation. Not actively looking to end my life, but say if a car blew a red light and I was standing in front of it, I wouldn't try to jump out of the way. In fact, I've said a few times, hit me or don't. Beth, I don't know if you think that playing games with me is a joke or not, or if you get entertainment out of it. But my life has been flipped and turned upside down and fucked up to the point I don't need it. I don't need your bullshit. I just don't. I mean, fuck, I've been going through this since last time you went through this shit of subscribing and unsubscribing to my YouTube. I'm going to be blunt. I found out you lost both your parents. I wanted to apologize. I was going to send you a message and say, send my condolences. Which, I'll be blunt, you still get them. I'm sorry you lost your parents. That's my kindness still showing through, even though I've had enough of your bullshit. I reconnected with my dad. I ended up going to Texas for 2 weeks and spending that time with him. My dad's a wonderful guy. So is my mom. Note, I did not say mother. I said mom. Her name is Pam. Or Pat. Actually, I'm one of the two. Because I just call her mom. But my dad, Mark, he's great. And my sister, Amy, she's wonderful. My niece, Julie, she's great. I got to watch her graduate from high school. Got to meet and spend a little bit of time with her, even though she's a standoffish, autistic young lady. It's just a quirk that makes her more interesting. And, well, I enjoyed my time with them. I even enjoyed what little time I had with my brother-in-law. The one thing I miss the most, though, one thing I'll never get back, my daughter. Having quiet borderline personality disorder, I can't tell you how many endless hours I have sat and thought to myself, what could I have done different? Why was I abandoned? Why was I left behind? I always had this fear that I was going to be erased and replaced. Well, my fears come true. I've been erased and replaced. And some people, they can be cruel. They really can. But there's a line from a song that nobody can break my heart like I can. Having BPD, a form of it, I do that a lot. I break my own heart thinking about things I can't change, thinking about things that may or may not be true. Self-sabotaging thoughts, self-destructive thoughts, all things that I go through regularly. Like I said, I have a wonderful life. Anybody else be ecstatic to be where I'm sitting. I was once trying to join the Mandalorian Mercs costume club, nonprofit group that usually does a lot of stuff for kids. I have a full set of Mandalorian armor in my basement. I haven't worn it in close to 2 years now. The clan I was joining, they haven't heard from me because I gave up. And the reason is, if I couldn't save my own child, what right do I have of helping anyone else's? I mean, I really hit a point where some people might say that my thoughts don't make sense. Maybe they don't, because sometimes I wonder what the fuck I'm thinking myself. But ever since my daughter got distant with me, that's been my mindset. That's the way I've thought. My brain doesn't make sense anymore. I mean, I do these. I've given up smoking. I made my daughter that promise that I would quit smoking cigarettes. I succeeded. But she also made me the promise at the same time that she wouldn't be as much of a stranger. She became more of a stranger. mean, pretty much, I don't know what to do from there. Because I have done everything I could do. In my opinion, she was groomed. She was pushed to make a decision that at one point she didn't want to make. At one point, she wanted nothing more than to be here with me, with my wife, with my son. Shit, I was multiple times a day looking for a 3-bedroom house or apartment. And I really did not want to give up our laundry machines because having a little boy and a teenage girl in the house, I was going to need them. I'm going to put this out there. This individual, Beth, she hasn't seen this side of me. I am a mother. I have my own responsibilities around the house. I take care of my son. I make sure that in case of emergency, he's safe. I do everything that a mom is supposed to do. Some might think I sit around and play video games like I used to. Let's see. I played video games once this week so far. I don't play every day like I used to. Part of that can be attributed to what I've gone through with my daughter. I lost interest in video games. I've lost interest in just about everything. I lost interest in Star Wars. I lost interest in Star Trek. I have lost myself. RC cars and my son. That's it. I mean, making sure he's taken care of and safe. I mean, yeah, I love my wife. That goes without saying. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for my son and my wife. I absolutely would not. Because during my first trip to California, I was berated so horribly by somebody that I left my phone. I put my ID in my bra. I walked to a bridge that was local where I knew there were rocks underneath it and about a 45 to 50-foot drop. I almost jumped. I was standing at that rail looking into the darkness. That individual made me feel so horrible, so shitty, and made me feel like I would be no kind of mom to my daughter, that I almost gave up. I'll be blunt. The life that I once had in my eyes, it's gone. Doesn't exist anymore. Because I don't live for me anymore. I live for others. I used to say that I love myself, and you know what? Can't even say that now. I used to find beauty in life everywhere. I don't see it anywhere. My world came crashing down the day I found out that my parental rights were terminated. I had to mute my phone when I was in court, and the judge said that because I was crying so hard that I would have interfered with the court hearing. One of the few times I've ever muted my phone. It's like I went from someone who mattered a lot to someone who didn't matter for shit. I was someone who I thought was special. I'm just not. Nobody great. I'm no one special. I did everything I could. But I feel that child services made their fucking mind up right after I made that first trip. I got told, oh, you didn't plan things with us. Like hell, I didn't. I was in contact with my worker the whole time. He knew. He knew way in advance before my first trip. And he failed to tell anyone else. I paid to get my ass to California on my own. That trip, well, let's just say it got reimbursed. But the second trip, it didn't. And I mean, they didn't even cover having to get a second ticket because I got stranded in Washington. Not just going there the first time, coming back the second time, I got stranded there for 2 weeks. In a town in Washington, I didn't know anyone. I told the ladies there where I was staying at a shelter, if it wasn't my daughter, I'd be a lot more upset. But because it's my daughter, this is worth it. Because at that time, all of the inconvenience in the world would have been worth it to me. She claims I never fought a day in my life, or a day in her life. I did. The day I moved into my apartment, her picture went on my fridge. It didn't come down till the day I moved out. It stayed on my refrigerator. She was the first thing I saw in the morning before I left the house, first thing I saw when I got up, and she was the last thing I saw before I went to bed. Not many people probably understood why her picture was taped to the front of the fridge. Not magnets, taped. And that was why. When I worked at Walmart, I'd send money. I'd do what I could. And yet, I'm almost certain I got painted as the villain. I had someone who was like a sister to me who passed away. She posed the words, "Why don't you go get custody of your kid?" Now, I wish I had. I really do. She went through so much that I won't voice because it's not my place to say. And I could have stopped all that shit. One of the most important people in my life. And I never got the chance to even try to tell her until she was 15. I was kept out of her life. She doesn't realize that she was cut off from me. My messages were never answered. They weren't even opened. And I thought she was safe for where she was at. But honestly, I don't think she was. Well, I know she wasn't. I think this live stream has gone on quite long enough. And, well, this webcam might be crap, but my phone is old and does not have space for any more videos. Even though I'm trying to clear out space, it's 4 years old. It's junk. I need a new one. But yeah, that's not going to happen for a while. So until then, when I upload a video, I'll probably be doing it from here. So I want to end this by saying, Beth, I do apologize for you losing both your parents now. You lost your dad, I believe, first, and then you lost your mom. I am sorry. My condolences. But please, just leave me alone. I've been through enough in the last year. I really have. I'm done. I mean, As I said, if I didn't have my family, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I'm at least nice enough if I self-terminated, I wouldn't do it in my apartment. I'd do it somewhere where someone wouldn't have to clean it up. So, but I also don't have active suicidal ideation. It's passive. So, ending my life is not an option. I have people who depend on me. So, and I don't know if my daughter will ever see this. I don't think she really cares. But I don't care what it is. If you find yourself on the street alone, nowhere to go, you always have a home. I love you. I can never change that. Even though I'm hurt and even though it feels like life's been ripped away from me, I still love you. I always will. That'll never change. I really, really wish things had gone differently. We're so hopeful to have you in this house with us, and little man was looking forward to having an older sister who he could spend time with and just hang out with. I mean, I even had neighbors here who were excited to meet you and hang out with you. One of which being a young girl down the way who she was like, she sounds like someone I could be friends with because she stays out of trouble. She's a great kid. I mean, she's she's one I don't ever see getting in trouble in this town because she stays out of it. Other kids, yeah, not so much. But I don't ever want you to think that I will turn you away. You're my baby. I've loved you since before you drew your first breaths. All I had to do was see your ultrasounds, and that was it. I loved you. I always found reasons to carry you. My favorite was she looked so uncomfortable in that carrier. I'd unbuckle you, pick you up, and carry you around the mall or around wherever we were. One memory that I love: falling asleep with you on the couch while bottle feeding you and watching TV. Earlier this morning, I started bawling my eyes out because I can still hear you laugh. But good place to end this because I'm about to start bawling. So, everybody, have a good one and be yourself because you can't be anyone else.